In the African village of Ukungu, two brothers, Mazi and Emeka, were inseparable. Mazi, the firstborn, married a kind woman named Adoa, and Emeka, the younger brother, married a beautiful woman named Agatha. The two families lived in the same homestead, and there was peace and love. 1 year after Mazi and Adoa got married, they conceived and got their first son, whom they named Robert. As years passed, Robert grew into a bright and energetic boy, beloved by all. However, despite 6 years of marriage, Agatha remained childless. Her envy towards Adoa and her son Robert grew, and her longing for a child turned into a dark obsession. Driven by desperation, Agatha sought the counsel of a notorious juju man who lived at the edge of the village. The juju man, known for his dark magic, listened to Agatha's woes and offered her an evil solution. He crafted an enchanted jacket infused with a powerful spell that would cause anyone who wore it to faint and fall ill till they died. If the boy succumbs to the spell, the juju man whispered, a new life will grow within you. Agatha returned to the village with a twisted smile, clutching the jacket that promised to fulfill her deepest desires. On Robert's 6th birthday, she presented it to Adoa and Robert with feigned warmth and affection. My dear, she said, her voice dripping with false sincerity, I brought this beautiful jacket for my nephew from my travels. May it bring joy and warmth to him. Adoa and Robert, unsuspecting of Agatha's true intentions, graciously accepted the gift. The first time he wore the jacket was on a cool evening, as he accompanied his friends to the village market. As soon as the fabric touched his skin, he felt a wave of dizziness and collapsed to the ground, his body convulsing violently. The young boys panicked and started shouting for help. Two women passing by came to their aid. They immediately started fanning him for fresh air. One of the women removed the jacket so that they could fan him better. Miraculously, Robert woke up and he was okay. Days later, Robert wore the jacket again, this time while tending to the livestock with his father. Once more, he fainted, his body jerking uncontrollably as foam formed at the corners of his mouth. His father hurriedly took him to the healer. As they removed the jacket to ease his breathing, Robert again opened his eyes, confused but otherwise fine. This pattern continued, each incident more perplexing than the last. Whenever Robert wore the jacket, he would collapse, his limbs shaking and his face contorting in pain, only to revive as soon as the jacket was removed. The villagers began to whisper among themselves, unable to understand the mystery ailment that plagued the young boy. Despite her wicked intentions, Agatha maintained her facade of kindness, visiting Robert and Adoa frequently. She continued bringing gifts to Robert and would visit Adoa most of the time just to spend some time with her. Adoa, grateful for the support, never suspected the evil lurking within her sister-in-law, Agatha. One day, Agatha's nephew, Jude, came to visit her with his mother. Agatha was very fond of Jude, who had always visited to keep her company when her husband had traveled. Jude and Robert were very good friends. They used to play together and had the kettle together. One evening, after an exhausting day of playing and tending to kettle, Robert and Jude sat by the fire in the homestead, exchanging stories and laughter. Agatha watched them from a distance, her eyes narrowing as she saw Robert's vibrant energy. a painful reminder of her own childlessness. The enchanted jacket hung in the corner of the room, a silent witness to the suffering it had caused. "Jude," Agatha called out sweetly, "why don't you stay over tonight? I'm sure Robert would love the company, and we can make a delicious breakfast together tomorrow." Jude's eyes lit up with excitement. "Can I, Mother?" he asked, turning to his mother, who smiled and nodded. As night fell, the two boys settled down to sleep in the small hut. Agatha, under the pretense of ensuring they were comfortable, suggested Robert wear the jacket to keep warm. "It's such a cold night," she said softly. "This jacket will keep you cozy." Robert, still unsuspecting of Agatha's true intention, put on the jacket. As he drifted off to sleep, Agatha watched with bated breath, waiting for the spell to take effect. But nothing happened. Robert slept soundly through the night, much to Agatha's confusion and frustration. The next morning, Agatha's mind raced as she prepared breakfast. How had the spell failed? Had the juju man deceived her? She was determined to find out. After the boys had eaten and left to play, Agatha slipped away to visit the juju man once more. "You promised me the jacket would work," Agatha hissed, anger and desperation clear in her voice. The juju man looked at her with a mix of amusement and pity. "Magic is a tricky thing, Agatha. The jacket spell is very powerful, but something must have happened to make the spell not work." The juju man asked Agatha if she was certain that Robert wore the jacket. He did some incantations and threw the magic spell in a bowl. He saw how the two boys slept. It seemed that when Robert fell asleep and was about to suffocate, Jude placed his hands inside the jacket, covering both of them with the jacket, which made the jacket's magic to reduce and could not harm Robert. Agatha, upon learning what had caused the spell not to work, devised a more cunning plan. She realized she needed to ensure that Robert's passing occurred near his mother and many other witnesses to avoid suspicion falling upon her. She returned to Ukungu, her mind racing with thoughts of how to execute her plan without arousing suspicion. The next morning, Agatha approached Adoa with a new idea. "Adoa," she said warmly, "I've been thinking, it would be lovely to host Robert's 7th birthday, and I would help plan everything." Adoa, touched by Agatha's suggestion, agreed. Agatha quickly began preparation for the boys' birthday party. The children, including Robert and Jude, were particularly excited about the event. On the day of the party, the sun shone brightly, casting a golden glow over the village. As the celebration reached its peak with music, dancing, and the aroma of delicious food filling the air, Agatha approached Robert and whispered for him to put on the jacket she had gotten him for his 6th birthday. Robert, trusting his aunt and eager to please, he put on the jacket. Almost immediately, he felt a wave of dizziness, but he shrugged it off, not wanting to spoil the fun. Agatha watched closely, her heart pounding with anticipation. As the afternoon wore on, the villagers continued enjoying the party. Robert sat close to his mother, his face pale and his breaths shallow. Adoa noticed her son's discomfort and placed a hand on his forehead. "Robert, are you feeling all right?" she asked. Before Robert could respond, he suddenly collapsed, his body convulsing violently. The joyous atmosphere instantly turned to panic as the people rushed to his aid. Adoa screamed, holding her son in her arms, tears streaming down her face. "Help! Someone help my son!" she cried out. Agatha, pretending to be just as horrified as everyone else, quickly moved forward. Adoa hurriedly pulled the jacket off Robert to help him breathe, but this time he did not revive. His body lay still, and a hush fell over the crowd. Adoa's wailing of despair echoed through the village, and Mazi, arriving at the scene, was overcome with grief. Everyone was in confusion. They called the medicine man, who came and tried to save Robert, whom by now was no longer breathing. Agatha's heart raced as she tried to maintain her innocent facade. Immediately Robert stopped breathing, Agatha felt her tummy feel warm, like a life was growing inside her. Adoa was devastated with the passing of her son Robert. She sank into depression, while Agatha reveled in the joy of expecting a baby. A few months later, with Agatha being just a few months to her due date, Jude came to visit her. Him and his mother went to greet Adoa. Jude was left to stay a few days with his aunt Agatha and keep her company, as her husband had traveled again. One cold afternoon, Adoa saw how cold it was and Jude was playing outside. She called him and gave him the jacket that belonged to her son Robert. After all, she did not have any need for it anymore. Jude was very excited and took the jacket. Jude got into the house to find his aunt Agatha sleeping. Being a very kind boy, he took the jacket that he was about to wear and covered Agatha's tummy to keep her warm and went inside the hut to sleep. What Jude never knew was how powerful the jacket still was. Agatha started feeling very sick, and her husband Emeka, together with his brother Mazi, came in and found her struggling to breathe in her sleep. They woke her up and started calling her name. When Agatha opened her eyes and saw the evil jacket on her tummy, she started screaming and threw it down. She started holding her tummy, and upon standing up, she saw herself bleeding. She had lost her baby. This was very devastating for her. Adoa heard the screams and came running. Agatha kept asking who had placed the evil jacket on her. Everyone was shocked of the word evil jacket. Jude came out, and shaking from fear, he said that he took Robert's jacket, and since his aunt was feeling cold, he covered her with the jacket. Agatha continued crying and wailing. She confessed to all that she had done to Robert, causing his demise, and now karma had caught up with her. Adoa was devastated, and Mazi had to hold her not to attack Agatha for causing the death of Robert. The village elders were told all that had happened, and Agatha was banished from the land. The evil jacket was set ablaze to end its evil spell. Adoa got pregnant again and gave birth to her son. Emeka remarried another beautiful woman, and she gave birth to his first child.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to support our channel, like, comment, and share. Bye.